Okay, so now the only change today, we were looking at lines of best fit. So when we did our regression, we did the linear regression part. Today we're just looking at curves of best fit. So you could have a y equals x squared, a y equals x cubed. You could have a y equals, I don't think we're into sign yet, so I think that might be it. It might be just x squareds and x cubes. And exponentials are, yeah, next section. So we're okay. So all we're basically looking at today is you're going to do, you're going to choose between linear regression, your line one, quadratic regression, that's your x squared one, or a cubic regression. Okay, so those are the ones that you're going to look at this morning. All right, if scatter plot seems to follow a curve trend, then there may be a quadratic or cubic relationship between the independent variable and dependent variable. So you're just using graphing technology. Okay, so let's look at this here. A pebble falls from a cliffside into the river 30 meters below. The table gives the height of the pebble as it falls. So after 0 seconds, it's at 30. After 0.5, it's 28.77, 1, and so on. So it says use technology to create a scatter plot and use quadratic regression. So it tells you in the question which regression you need to use. Okay, so let's do this then. Go through all your steps here. Put in your stat. Put in your, when you get to your regression, you're going to use this one. And then it's line 1, line 2, y1. Okay? So let's go through that right now, please. What's the problem?
Oh, I wrote them down, but I wrote them down, and I wrote them down to like my other thing, and then changed it a little bit. So I have to try and figure out this. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's put that in your calculators right now. Find mine.
What do you do after that? I'm done.
You got all the way to there already, Morgan?
Yeah, I was.
So did you do the quadratic regression?
Oh, not yet. I'll do that.
Okay.
Can I get a drink?
Yeah.
I did the quadratic regression.
Oh. So it's like the line one.
Yes. Yes. Everything stays the same. That's the nice thing about this.
Oh, this is so.
Okay, I have that all done.
Do you have your graph on yet?
Soon.
So the first thing you do after you've done all that, Morgan, is write in your equation once you've got your equation. So I go to second function quit. I'm going to go to stat, calculate quadratic regression.
I did the L1, L2, Y1. I pushed
Okay.
enter, then went to
Yeah.
Y equals.
Okay.
Cleared
So
my board up.
what did you get for your A? What's your A say?
Okay, I'll get to that. I got negative 4.90. For B, I got 0.014. And for C, I got 29.99.
Okay, good. I got the same thing as you, Morgan. Okay, so now you should be able to just hit graph. So we hit graph now, right?
Yeah.
Did your graph show up? Because mine didn't.
It shows a bunch of dots at the bottom. So I see.
Okay, so now we're going to go to zoom stat. Zoom 9.
I got something.
So did you get dots and a curve?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you need to have. Okay, so far?
Yeah.
This one.
Come on.
Is this linear?
out too, that's good. Now you go down. Did this the other day. No, bars, bars. Bars, Y1. Function, Y1, that goes there. Now you can calculate. Switch that, do this calculation. Okay, so you're gonna have to do something with that. Or else get a graphing calculator.
I got an error, like when I did my section enter. If you do that Y1 and then enter, it gave me an error.
You don't have a comma after line 2.
Oh, no way.
Okay, how are we making out? Was everybody okay? Got this?
How do I fix that again? How do I go up?
Second function, enter. Will take you back to what the last thing you typed into your screen is. And go over to that. So, second insert and then comma. There you go.
So is that what?
Yeah, sure. No, yours looks like a line.
Yeah, no.
No. No, dude, it's not linear regression. Jeez, man, you can't follow instructions.
I told you.
Look! It tells you that in the question.
So how do you change that?
Go to stat calculate.
Oh. Oh, and go to what was it again?
Quadratic. Brandon, read all the information.
I was just following this thing.
You're not following anything. You're doing your own thing.
He's following his heart.
Okay, so we've got that. Use your equation to determine the height of the pebble after 1.25 seconds. So how do I do that? I want to find out what the height is after 1.25 seconds. Second trace. And then what? Value 1.25. And what'd you get, CJ? 22.356. 3 decimal places.
I did that in
No,
work.
it's
It's right here.
Did you get that, Morgan?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. We're okay? Eli? You all right? Anybody not get 22.356 for that?
I got 22.3431.
You should. Okay, well, did you check your A, B, and C to make sure that they're the same? Go second quit.
Yeah, my A is negative 4.894.
Okay, so you have a number wrong in your, that you entered in there. Okay, Jules?
At
Mine
mine
was
was
1.25.
1.25.
But like my ABC was on.
Okay, so let's go to your, go to stat.
6 for question B.
Yeah, you better. I'm done with this.
Same.
That's way too much stuff.
Okay.
I got this, I don't know why you wasn't gonna get it, but like when I pressed grab, it was okay, it just like came. I was like, yes.
Okay, so you got 2 issues.
I know, it was like
Okay, so.
2:50 and I was gonna nap for like 20 minutes. And then I ended up for like 3 hours.
You don't have your stats one on there, so you don't have
When the pebble, did you get?
your second
Did
question.
you get questions? He was asking how so before I.
That's why. Okay, write this down on your cheat sheet, please. Write this down, and is everybody listening? If you do not get the dots on here, on your screen, go put your stat plot on. Write that down because on the exam, I'm not telling you that. You have to have the stat plot on for all of these.
If you do not get the dots.
If you don't get your dots on the screen, all right, or your graph doesn't give you, when you do Zoom 9, your dots need to show up. If they don't show up, that means that you have not put your stat plot on. That's like when you go to y equals, this thing up here, CJ,
Oh, okay.
okay? All right? Because some of you are getting that, having that difficulty. You have to know how to fix your problems with the calculator because I can't tell you those things. All right? Okay, so that was that. And then it says, when does the pebble hit the river to the nearest hundredth of a second? How do I find that? I want to find out, what's the question asking me? Somebody explain it to me a little bit better.
They're asking for the Y.
They're asking me for what?
The Y.
No, it's not the y, no. What does the y represent in this question?
Well, they're asking for 0.
Yeah, when what's 0? When y is 0. That's right. Okay, so that's right. Now I have a graph that looks like this.
You do this like a physics question. Acceleration, not what you need per second squared.
Well, the question works out that way, yeah. It's legit. It would work out that way, but it doesn't help you. Okay, so this is my graph here. My y-axis represents what? Put your calculators down and watch this.
Your height.
The height.
The height. What does x represent?
Oh.
The time. So the question says, what is the time when the height is 0? So where on my graph is the height 0?
Right there.
Where it crosses the x-axis. Agreed? What do we call that when the graph crosses the x-axis? My x-intercept or my root or my
0.
0. That's what you need to do on your calculator. So you go second trace again, and this time you're going to go to 0. Move it down close to 0 as possible, because it says left bound. So right now I'm tracing, my marker ended up right here, okay? That's where it started. I'm moving it down to somewhere around here, and I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to see if I can get it below 0. I can't. All right, so I run into a problem here. I run into a problem. My graph on my calculator, listen, my graph on my calculator is only allowing me to go down to 6.3 as my height. Anybody else have that issue? Yeah? All right. So I can't go any lower than 6.3 right now. Okay, we following what I'm doing here?
Why does it go that way?
It doesn't matter, CJ. All right? So, here's the next phase in fixing my issues. I'm going to hit window. So everybody hit window. Now in window, I get this. All right, that's what you see on your window. Is that up? Is everybody in this spot, please? Follow this as I'm doing this. All right, the x minimum, that represents the smallest value that the x-axis is going to go on the grid to appear on my calculator. So what does yours say right now?
-0.2.
I have, yeah, I have negative 0.2. Everybody else, just leave, don't, just watch. Just watch. Do not write things down. Do not put this into your calculator. Just watch. So that means that the furthest my graph goes this way is negative 0.2. My maximum says right now that the furthest it goes this way is 2.2. Okay? which may be okay, may not be okay, because I don't know where the 0 is going to end up. All right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to change this guy so that my graph will show me all the way over to 3. I can leave this as 1. That's usually what I leave it as. But I'm going to change my X max. So my first change on my window will be that guy right there. Okay? My Y minimum, mine says 7 on here.
So does mine.
So does yours? Okay, so it's only going as low as 7. But I need a height that's 0, right? So I'm going to probably have to change that one too. I'm going to mark it, I'm just going to put it down like -2. Okay? So I'm just going to move it to, again, leave your pencils, leave your calculators. I'll leave this on the board. I'm changing my Y minimum so that my graph down here goes to at least -2. Okay? My Y maximum is fine. It's at, my maximum says 33.3286. Okay? So that's fine. And this is 1, and this is 1. So what I'm doing is I'm changing how small or large my grid is going to appear to me. That's what my window does. This is something that you will want to be able to play with and know how to play with, is this window here, okay? So now what I want you to do is take your calculator, and I want you to move it down to X max 3. Now remember, I am doing this specific to this question. Very specific to this question. This is not what I want as my window all the time. But for this question, it's allowing me to see all that I need to see. So I go 3. So I put my X max is 3. I'm going to change my Y min to -2. And I just hit enter after that. All right. And again, these numbers are specific to this question. Now I'm going to hit graph. Does it look like it crosses the axis now that I've changed my minimum and maximum there? Yeah. Okay. So let's go to second function trace again now. And let's find the 0. So it's asking you for left bound. So just let me explain that to you. Left bound means that you're picking a spot to the left of the coordinate you want to find. Right bound means to the right of the coordinate you want to find. When you have a curved graph such as this, above this line is to the left, because that's right here. Below this line is to the right, because that's over here. So as long as I move my cursor down, I hit enter about right here, just above the line. Then I move it down below the line into the negatives, and I hit right bound. And then it says guess, question mark. So I hit enter a third time. And it says that it would take 2.475 seconds for that pebble to hit the ground, or the water, sorry.
So for this, the guy right there. So he's
Yes.
To get to
I'll go
this,
down until it's in the negative.
you go second function trace.
Yes and no.
Or you go.
Okay, so let me blow this up for you. Let me blow this up for you. Let's-
Push this until you get, you'll see, okay.
Okay, Mary, let me talk you through this, please. All right, I'm going to do this a little bit different. To make this make more sense, I'm going to zoom in on what I'm doing here. So let's go back to our window again. Okay? So go to window. And I want you to change your X minimum to 2. So let's change it to 2. Your X maximum will be 3. Your Y minimum